Every once in a while, you find a show that not only you enjoy, but captivates everyone else just as much as it did yourself. Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones, and Succession are one of the few shows I can think of that are must-watch television for the modern era. What separates those shows from others is the execution and commentary of themes that they are tackling in each show. Nuance, morality, and choices are what attracts us to these mainstream shows. They challenge us to think of different perspectives and whether or not the choices the characters make are right or wrong. I haven't seen this type of show in a few years until I've recently watched Severance. Now, if you haven't watched Severance and just seen clips online, you're asking yourself, what the fuck is so exciting about people just walking around in an office building? Well, obviously it's more than that. Imagine you can make another version of yourself that takes away the responsibility, trauma, and pain that we have to go through every day. But not only does it not take away those challenges, but add new ones to that second version you let be created. That's Severance, and it's the best show on television right now. Let me tell you something. I was not familiar with Ben Stiller's game, especially when it comes to making the show Severance. Stiller was able to introduce a concept like Severance and present it in a way that sounds simple, yet its themes, visuals, writing, and characters are very complex. Every little detail that's in the show, from the paintings in the rooms to the conversations the characters have, plays an important role to moving the story forward. What Stiller was able to present so well is the lore around the company the workers in Severance work for, called Lumen. For example, the difference between what Lumen will call an outie and an innie. An outie is basically the people outside of work, which we view as the true version of the person that works at Lumen. An innie is their work selves that strips away all of their outie's memories, and they're a completely new person. Also, you can tell which is which by the dolly shot Stiller does when somebody is in the elevator door, and the elevator ding sound, so you can tell apart if a person is an outie or an innie. The characters are great, and acting from the whole cast of Severance is one of the best rounded casts I've seen in a while. Now, Patricia Arquette, who plays Miss Corbell, is very good. Corbell supervises the Lumen company, so she plays a huge role in the story. But there are 5 characters that you should be really paying attention to in this show. Josh Turturro as Irving, Zach Cherry as Dylan, Brett Lauer as Helly, Tramiel Tillman as Mr. Milchick, and Adam Scott as Mark. All gave out great performances, and when they're together, there is good chemistry that you can feel on screen. Without spoiling, Mark and Mr. Milchick were the standouts to me based off the seasons we had so far. Adam Scott basically plays 2 characters, one being Mark the outie and Mark as the innie. The way he plays these 2 characters is amazing because they're the same person, yet you can tell that they're different by the way Adam Scott plays these 2 versions of Mark. Now, Mr. Milchick steals the show every time he's on screen. Mr. Milchick is the assistant of Miss Corbell, and he basically babysits the innies all day at work. When you get further into the show, Tillman does an amazing job making this character, Mr. Milchick, the memorable part of the series. The concept of creating a different version of yourself for work already gives interesting commentary with corporations and how it affects our humanity. As a kid, you grow up thinking that as an adult, you can have the freedom to do anything you want and try to achieve something. Even in college, you're optimistic that you can go to different ventures and just change something, whether it involves where you're working at or just giving your family a better life. The truth is, at least 99% don't have the freedom to even walk in the park. People every day as a celebrity, an athlete, doctor, teachers, influencer, and any part-time job doesn't let you have the freedom that most of us wanted as kids. Instead, not only do you have a task, but you can't even act like yourself because it makes the higher-ups uncomfortable. These are one of the main themes of Severance without me spoiling it for you. I didn't even get into Severance commentary on what makes a person human, race, incarceration, and tackles how someone tries to numb down their grief and pain. Severance will be one of the best shows of 2025, and this is the season where everybody will tune in to check out the show. We relate to the themes that Severance is presenting to us, especially with the way big corporations move with workers. It's a show that plays with different genres like science fiction, romance, comedy, thriller, and mystery, combining all that into one and made it work. Severance is also thought-provoking and challenges if our reaction to some characters' choices is justified, and make us have ourselves time to think about our reaction. Also, all the performances are amazing from the cast and the execution Ben Stiller gives to make sure this show is well crafted. If you're curious about Severance, I will give the show at least 3 episodes, and that will determine if you will enjoy the show or not. I recommend you check out the show Severance. It's on Apple TV, and you will not be disappointed while watching the show.